How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
Okay, how was class and school these first couple of periods?
Pretty productive.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are feeling hyper today. It's a short week.
Okay. Ms. Flores, could you please read the norms for the meeting?
Be on time and prepared. Be receptive to feedback and open to change. Be solution focused on what we can control. Do what's best for the kids and be intentional in all your actions. Are there any suggestions about adjusting or changing the norms?
Not that we come across so far. Anybody else?
I think we're good.
We're good.
Could you please share feedback, Ms. Flores, from the admin team meeting on the plan's implementation steps?
Yes, so first, the admin team asked us to think about offering a faculty meeting session before school also. This is so if the teacher has a prior meeting, they can still receive the instructional strategies that were offered. I've added the question to OneNote under the meetings tab. When we decide on it, we will push it through with an email to teachers. Second, they also suggested that we record the presentations, that we give the faculty at meetings for those that can't be there, and post that to One Stop Shop and Canvas. I can make sure that happens and stays updated. And then lastly, the other suggestion was to include the instructional rounds team when we do walkthroughs on the AP teachers. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that'll be counterproductive to the goals, actually. When the instructional rounds team conducts the walkthroughs, the teachers are feeling like they're going through their formal evaluations, and I think we should just have our team do the walkthroughs so that we can keep it more informal and the teachers really feel comfortable sharing, even though they may be doing something new that we suggested to them.
Okay.
I agree with Pandia. I want to help with the walkthroughs. And I'm not on the instructional rounds team. Could we maybe do both?
I agree with sticking to the original plan. I know I'm on the instructional rounds team, and we already have things that we're looking for on the walkthroughs that are aligned to the school's problem of practice. And we know the problem of practice is with higher order questioning. The instructional rounds team, it does have some data collecting tools that we also could use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna collect that and then see what we can adjust for how we do our walkthroughs. What does the team think about that?
I agree just with our team doing the walkthroughs.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay. Then we'll stick to the plan. Next, we must work on the PowerPoint for the faculty meeting. Remember, we're actually going into the meetings and they're going to actually pick and see which professional development that they would like to choose for our problem of practice and our plan. Is everyone good with Wednesday after school?
Yes.
Okay. We've discussed dividing out some of the work that needs to be done, and if you look in OneNote when you get back to your computers, I've listed some things that I thought and want you to type your name next to what you'll take on to get presentation rolling. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take part on the part of social emotional health and a few ideas for the teachers on how to help kids feel included. I have a video that I want to share with them.
Okay, before that part, I want to share the data. I think they will be surprised that 16% of white students feel like they don't belong in AP classes. By 28% of black students feel like they don't belong.
Okay. So that's a good idea. Mr. Tran, you can take that part. Ms. Flores, you take that part. What I'll do is I'll share some research with you through email and also through the OneNote on implicit biases and how we can respond with cultural responsive teaching. Mr. P, will you help me in deciding what strategies to share?
Yes, I was just reading up on this actually. So one of the blogs I follow was talking about how biases can actually just completely shift the culture in the school and how our classroom numbers are even going to look based on that. So we can definitely make some changes. I was reading about some positive approaches that we can take to improving these numbers and changing how kids feel about this.
Cool, that looks good. So let's say that the parts need to be finished by next Monday, so that we can review our parts and revise it at the next meeting, and we can be prepared for when we actually have to present. Is everybody fine with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Thank y'all for being here.
You're all invited.
All right. How was everybody's day?
It was
Day
good.
going?
Yeah, good. I mean, ready for the long weekend.
Oh man, I understand. Well, one team member can't join us today. She's actually at the district bi-weekly principals meeting, so it'll just be us three today. Could you please read the norms?
Absolutely. Be on time and prepared. Be receptive to feedback and open to change. Be solution focused on what we can control. Do what's best for kids and be intentional. Are there any suggestions about adjusting or changing the norms?
I think I'd like to add one more, especially for this meeting. Can we agree to be honest in our reflections and keep what we discussed like in between us?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
So the topic for today's meeting is to give honest feedback about me as a team facilitator and how we function as a collaborative team. I emailed you all some self-awareness and reflection questions about the work or collaborative group, what have we done so far. And one of the most important things you can do as an instructor is to have students reflect on your group experiences and also reflect on lessons in class. And so that's why we're kind of doing this reflection today. So to help me grow and to help us grow as a team, I want to get your feedback. So let's look at a few questions. Let's start with you. A question you answered under climate and share your response.
Let's see. How do you demonstrate trust and openness towards the other members and their ideas? Well, I think to demonstrate trust, we follow the team norms. We be open to responses and definitely voting on things that we disagree about so that there is a consensus and we can gauge how we are feeling and truly feeling about each other. And I think that demonstrates trust and openness. How about you?
I definitely agree with you what you were saying with taking votes and making sure that we have a consensus, because we're a pretty small group right now, but we have to take our ideas back to all of our teams and the school as a whole. And so it's really important that we can kind of make a united front, even though we don't necessarily agree about every single topic. And we've done a great job like hearing each other out, and we kind of demonstrate like what we think the benefits are before we start like going into saying like, hey, we can't make these things work, we can't do this, we can't do that. We're pretty good about like, okay, you know what, hear each other out, listen to the full idea, listen to the vision before we kind of close our minds to the next idea, even though sometimes it's a lot more work for us. So I think we've done a great job of keeping our minds open towards each other just with listening to each other.
So I guess the general consensus is I feel like we do trust each other and we're pretty much open when we open to ideas, open to reflection, open to criticism, and so we're kind of an open group. Do y'all agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I guess our next thing is, do y'all feel like we work well together when we're going into classrooms and we're doing our giving teachers feedback, or even when we come in here? Do y'all feel like we work well together?
I think we all worked well together. It's nice that we kind of have gotten to know each other pretty well, and we can understand the other's language and communication pretty well, and we're pretty good about like not misconstruing something. And I know if someone tells me like, hey, it's not like that, or it's like this, I know it's not like a personal attack. They're not saying like, hey, you're doing it wrong. They're saying, hey, these are our needs, and these are the points that we're trying to address right now, right? Like maybe I'm going and addressing some different concerns altogether. I'm seeing things in a different light and saying like, hey, that's actually a much bigger concern. And we're kind of good about like understanding like, hey, no, he has a point, not just like being like, wait, why are you telling me off about this, right? So we've done really well with that, I think.
Okay. What do you think?
So since we are close together, I agree with what you just said. Definitely we know our quirks and our differences, and we can work around those without offending each other. So definitely we do work well together because we are so close to each other.
Okay. What question do you want to reflect on?
So I wanted to reflect on how we can make sure that the group members feel supported, encouraged, and appreciated for their work.
Okay. So when we talk about feel supported, encouraged, and appreciated for their work, not only just us as group members, but also, can we do that? How do you think we did that for teachers?
I think one of the challenges is like, as teachers, we don't get out of our classrooms enough. So like, you know, in the math hallway, you know, all we see are our math teachers, and it may just be a peek out the door, you see the person across from you, and then you go back in your room. So one of my big focuses was like finding ways we could build some team camaraderie, not just between our department, but maybe doing some things cross departments, whether it's competition or challenges, and saying like, hey, you know, you have to team up with people who you don't see walking past your door every day, just so that we can try to build the same bonds that we have as a small team, maybe some small networks like that throughout the school, right? So, hey, your math teacher is talking to your history teacher who's talking to your English teacher, and maybe they're passing different ideas and information back and forth, or sharing concerns, right? Like we might talk about, hey, you know, this student is struggling in my class, have you found a way to help him? I can't get this person to open up, I don't know how to communicate with these people. English teachers have a different dynamic than math teachers or science teachers, and so building some camaraderie and trying not to make it something that takes a ton of their time, right? Like I know everyone's just like time, so finding some fun ways that we can quickly get to know each other better, and like, you know, meet people from different departments and different organizations and different roles in our school. So building some bonds there, I think really helps people do more and feel like their work kind of spreads through the school rather than just in their one classroom.
And I like what you're saying, that bonding, especially when we look at the AP and the pre-AP realm also, because our AP and our AP, pre-AP realm bonding with our academic realm. Mm-hmm. And so if they're not, then, you know, they could pass off ideas and get the higher rigor for the kids that's in the academic level on the pre-AP level. And it might not be the, you know, as strenuous as the AP or pre-AP, but it does give them ideas. And I like what you're saying, that bond, because you can kind of talk to different people in different departments. Like history might be doing something that could incorporate math, or math can do something that might incorporate reading or something like that, and have that cross curriculum across the board, across the whole school. How do you feel about support, encouragement, and appreciation for work?
Well, I think that teachers feel supported and encouraged when when they get recognized for that work, and this recognition doesn't have to be superficial recognition. Like, you have to give and provide details that, oh, this is what I like about your lesson here, that idea was amazing, rather than just, hey, you're a rock star teacher. So generic compliments we all hear, but specific details about a specific lesson or the way they do certain things in their classroom definitely makes a teacher appreciative for their work.
Do you all feel that, like, as me as a leader, as a team lead, or a team member, do you feel like you were supported?
Oh, absolutely. Everything I suggested we tried. Where else can I say that?
Okay.
And we know we can't implement every single idea that comes through our minds, right? Like, I know we can be like, hey, let's have a dodgeball tournament, and we'll be like, yeah, and then like 5 minutes later we're like, wait, no, we can't do that. Like, so I mean, we understand each other, and we again know, like, we can't implement every idea, but we know that we're going to be heard out on this forum, that you're going to take it seriously. You're not just going to be like, that's a dumb idea, right? You're going to say like, hey, okay, let's hear it out, let's look at what it might bring to the table. And then we say like, okay, can we implement it? And then we kind of can challenge ourselves as well to think of maybe some modifications or ideas where we can make it fit what we want to do. And I think you've done a great job of facilitating everyone being heard out and being a great listener, which is, I think, like the best part of your leadership, that you hear everyone out and you say, wait, okay, tell me more first, right? I don't want to make judgment until I feel like I have enough information.
So if you had to rate our team, team-on-team effectiveness, would you give us a 1 being not an effective team, or a 5 being the best team ever?
I would rate our team as a 4, just because we aren't perfect and every team has room to grow.
I think we got to say that we're a 5. I mean, we don't meet all the goals, but we are meeting all of the collaboration needs that we have, right? So again, like, you know, we're always hearing each other out. We're always putting all the ideas out there. And I think a lot of great ideas have come through here, right? So again, we're never going to accomplish everything, but we are getting the most out of the things that we put into place, right? Like, I feel like we're putting implementations on ideas that actually are staying like and positively progressing rather than being like, okay, we tried it for 2 weeks and then it's gone, right?
Okay.
We're able to really commit to these ideas, and that's why I think we need to say that we're a 5.
So I guess I take the the mean medium mode, or what is it, my math teachers? I guess I give us a 4.5. 4.5.
We can take
I'll go with that rating. So I feel like that 4.5 is good.